to move stuff around on the screen like that, you hold down the shift button and then the mouse wheel, and then that'll move you around. Also, to move around this way, you just push and hold the mouse wheel and move it around. Just get used to how to move that. All right, now what we need to do is, let's see here, we have roughly 1, 2, 3, 4 little notches from the midpoint down to here. So we need to have about 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 10. So that's about roughly right. Okay, so what we need to do now is select this whole row of vertices. And we need to shrink that down. By the way, when I was messing with this row right here, as well as what I'm going to do here, in order to actually shrink their points together and out like this, all you do, check that out, okay, press the S button, that's all you do. And so now we're going to bring this and taper that down in right to about there. And like I said, this is just the modeling part. This isn't the really important part per se as the other things, but this is still a rather important part of the whole thing. But if you want it to look more realistic, go crazy with the modeling. Just go absolutely nuts with it. One thing you'll notice right here is all these little triangles. If you go back over to some of these pictures, you'll notice that there's a little cut right there to make it more of like a little rhomboid instead of a actual triangle. Same thing over here, a little rhomboid right there. What you can do is, let's see, go over here into face select mode, get rid of these two faces, go back into vertice select mode, highlight those 4, press F, and there you have a face. So you can do stuff like that to actually work with the modeling and make it as authentic as you want. Just a little thing I had noticed. Okay, going back to normal. I really don't care about the modeling as much as, yeah, I really don't care about the modeling so much as I care about the material settings, because the main bulk of the material is not the modeling, because you can do whatever you want with the modeling. If you're not good with modeling, I'll have a tutorial on it later. So anyway, now that we have our diamond modeled, there's one thing I wanted to show is usually when you have a picture of a diamond, you don't want any other of the rest of the picture to actually take the focus away from the diamond. Especially as shown in this picture right here, you'll notice that this background is just a dull gray. The only other times when you would have something taking away from the actual visualization of the diamond is if you have some type of reflection, which would just kind of add a coolness factor to the diamond itself. A real good picture for that would be this one right here. You have the diamond reflecting on like a blue glass surface. Usually, like I said, though, you don't want the rest of the picture to take away from the diamond, unless, of course, the diamond is inside maybe like a ring or something to that effect. So what we're going to do is for our background, I'm just dragging this up so I can have the background on the 0 level here. What we're going to do is we're going to create a background surface more just like a felt. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a plane. So Shift A, and we're going to add a plane here. And just to make sure the plane is below the diamond itself. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to resize this thing. Oh, wait, wrong view. Orthogonal. All right. Just press S and make that thing big. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here into View and Camera. So press 0. And yeah, I'm still going to be able to see this little bit of the background, which is going to be actually what I want for this. Some of you may not want the background to actually be seen, so you may want to just literally do only a black surface and make this even bigger. That's up to you and how you want to do it with the modeling. So what we're going to do is to make this felt surface with the surface selected, we're going to go over here into the materials bar. We're going to add a new material. This material pretty much acts as a replica of what this is going to act like as well. If you have it in just flat view, for our purposes on the plane, it's going to work great. I really don't care either way. Whichever way I look at it, it's all kind of the same thing. Anyway, you'll notice that this is going to have the same texture and looks as that. So whatever you see here, that's the way it's going to show up in the render. All right, so what we need to do is we need to make it like a black felt. So we're going to select this diffuse color and just drop that down straight to black. Now we're not done though, because if you take a look at the render now, you'll notice this little white area. And the reason why that's coming through is this lamp is hitting the plane and reflecting a little bit. And we don't want that reflection because felt doesn't typically reflect a whole lot, nor do we want it to take away from the diamond. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of this little white spot here, and we do that by turning off the specular intensity. So just grab that, swing it all the way to the left, or just click it and type in 0, like that. And now when we render it, hey, there's no little white space. So there's only one other thing we need to do with this plane, and we're ready to move on to the diamond. And what that is we need to come in here to shadow, and we need to tell it to receive transparencies. Now, the reason we need to do that is because this diamond is going to have transparencies on it. And if we didn't tell this bottom mesh to receive any type of transparencies, then the light would have the effect of going through the diamond, but as soon as it hits the last piece to go through the diamond and then onto the felt, it would be like a complete just solid wall casting a full shadow. And we don't want that. We don't want any shadows because it's supposed to be a transparent material. Kind of like, it's almost as if you were going to look through a window with no light passing through it if we didn't turn this on. So we need to turn the receive transparencies on, and that's all we need to do with that. All right, so now we need to work with the diamond. So what we're going to do, select the diamond, make sure you're here in the materials tab, and click new. And now this is the material of the diamond. Click back over here, that's the material of the felt background. Diamond, background, okay. Now what we need to do, one thing you can do as well, is you can actually rename it. So you can go felt. And then over here, you can go diamond. And that's actually a good practice to get into later on for more advanced things in Blender. Is say if you're going to have different things on different layers for compositing. If you want to look at some really good, awesome tutorials for compositing, go check out blenderguru.com. Andrew Price is absolutely fantastic with his compositing. That's one of the things I really, really like about what he does. His modeling is fantastic as well, but his compositing is just off the hook. So anyway, renaming that, it's not important right now because we're not going to do anything with that, but it's a good practice to get into. So anyway, we now get to mess with the settings of the diamond. Now these settings, when I was working with it, took me, oh boy, probably about 45 minutes to an hour to figure out. I was just messing around. I was having a hard time trying to get the light to go through all the different places, and I finally figured out how to do it. Now, there are many, many, many different ways of actually getting this set up. So my way is not the only way that it has to be. My suggestion is play around with the settings so you can actually get used to it if you're new at Blender. If you're not new to Blender, then you probably already know what I'm talking about and just messing around with the settings. Anyway, mess around with them, see what works, see what doesn't work, and just go crazy with the modeling, go crazy with the settings, and find out what works for you.